What to know before 2023 MLB trade deadline. Time is winding down for Major League Baseball teams to determine if they want to be buyers or sellers. The annual trade deadline gives contenders one last chance to bolster their roster before the home stretch and sellers an opportunity to get some future return for their coveted players. With this year's deadline rapidly approaching, and which players could be wearing a different jersey to close out the regular season? Here are some of the key things to know ahead of the 2023 MLB trade deadline. When is the 2023 MLB trade deadline? This year's MLB trade deadline is set for 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific Time on Tuesday, August 1st. Can deals be made after the MLB trade deadline? As of 2019, there is only one MLB trade deadline. Players can still move teams via waivers, but no trades can take effect after the deadline. The July 31st, August 1st trade deadline used to be referred to as the non-waiver trade deadline. Prior to 2019, players could be placed on trade waivers after the original trade deadline. Will Shohei Ohtani be traded? Instead of shipping out the top player in baseball, the Los Angeles Angels decided to go the opposite direction and make a push at the trade deadline. The Angels took Shohei Ohtani off the market and have since acquired starting pitcher Lucas Giolito from the Chicago White Sox, as well as outfielder Randal Grichuk and first baseman C.J. Cron from the Colorado Rockies. The team shipped out several of its top prospects to bring in win-now players. Still 4 games out of an AL wild card spot, it has a long way to go to get Ohtani into his first MLB postseason before he reaches free agency. Top MLB players who have been traded so far. The Angels aren't the only ones who have been wheeling and dealing this week. Here's a look at some of the other notable players on the move. Max Scherzer. The New York Mets traded one of the highest-paid players in baseball to the Texas Rangers. Max Scherzer waived his trade clause to facilitate the move. David Robertson. Before dealing Scherzer, the Mets made an intra-divisional trade that sent reliever David Robertson to the Miami Marlins. Mets general manager said, "It's not a fire sale," following the Scherzer and Robertson trades. The team is 50-55 on the year and 6.5 games out of the final NL wildcard spot. Jordan Hicks. The Toronto Blue Jays made a splash for their bullpen when they added Jordan Hicks from the St. Louis Cardinals. Jordan Montgomery and Chris Stratton soon followed Hicks out of St. Louis, as they were traded to the Rangers. Lance Lynn. The Los Angeles Dodgers added some pitching depth with the acquisition of Lance Lynn and Joe Kelly from the White Sox. Earlier in the week, the Dodgers brought in shortstop Amed Rosario from the Cleveland Guardians. Carlos Santana. Like Robertson, Carlos Santana was traded to a division rival ahead of the deadline. The Pittsburgh Pirates sent the veteran first baseman to the Milwaukee Brewers.